see if I can adjust this. All right. Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you a little crackly.
Yeah, I should have asked you ahead of time if you were coming, because that was the only reason I tried to get north. I was trapped on the express lanes trying to get up here, so I had to actually end up getting off and stopping at a library, but it's even noisier in there, so I am in the parking lot, Plan C.
Sounds good.
Yes, so I can hear you really well, though.
Okay.
I
don't hear you so clear. I don't know if it's the location, if you're in a dead zone.
I have a strong signal. I don't have my earpiece. So let me try to see if I can find my other headphones or actually switch to my other phone.
I love the hairpiece.
Thank you.
Super perfect.
So excited. I really wish I could have made it further north. I should have just double checked before I left work. Let me see if I can, by chance, get on the computer and then maybe just turn it off. Is that a little bit better or no? If not, I will get off of that one. I'll try this one to see. Anywho, how was your day?
My day was great.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. Very, what's the word? Productive. And 5 o'clock came before I realized that it was going to be here. And so I feel very appreciative of you for giving me this platform. And I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I did advertise and everything for it. Okay. Can you hear me a little bit better?
A lot better.
Okay, so it was the phone. So it's that particular phone too. Okay, let me see. Nope, that won't work. No, trying to play with how to set it up. That won't work. Let me see. Okay. Can you hear me from back there? No, that's too far away.
I hear you.
How well can you hear me though?
Very well.
Really? Okay. Yay. So then at least now I know that it's definitely the other phone.
That's good for the next time, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, it is definitely 5 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in our Facebook Live audience. I want to welcome everyone to the 100 Health Show. I am Miss Wells from Abundant Health Services. And today I am so excited to bring in my favorite love guide is what I'd like to call her, Miss Paula. And before I read her bio for you, would you like to tell everyone hello?
Hi, everybody. I feel so appreciative of you, Shawnte, for this platform. And I want to thank you and all your listeners and followers for your attention. I feel so blessed to be with you today, and thank you.
It is my absolute pleasure. So before I introduce our guests, I want to definitely start with first welcoming you at all and thanking you all for your support and following us. And those of you who are listening to the replay, it's a great show. I hope you follow the links on the site. I put a direct link to Conversations with Paula. So for those of you who are interested in following her and checking out a little bit more or listening to the replay even, definitely follow her. And I know that you'll be on YouTube as well with Conversations with Paula. So
Yes,
I will be
soon.
sure to post all of that, a link to that as well on the website, but the link to the website is already up on missw.org. All right, so this episode, we're talking about love and health. Do you have love for your heart? I know those of you who've been listening to me before, you know the first thing that I'm going to say is number one, stop tripping. Stop tripping on your heart. Stop tripping on your heart health. Get up and take a heart bath. It is necessary, even more necessary than the skin bath and external bath that you take with water. Number two, I need you to get married. You see, this episode, we're talking about love today, but I want you to do a different kind of marriage. I want you to marry your heart, marry your heart health. I need you to take the vow to not let more than 2 days go by without doing some form of aerobic activity. And then number three, I need you to walk. Just walk America with me or any place that you are located on this earth. Walk. Walk whatever country you're in. I just need you to walk at least 20 minutes today. You can win in your health. This thing is winnable. It is not a fixed fight in the sense of that you can't reverse some of the effects of heart disease, diabetes. You don't have to have a stroke. You can walk away from many of those illnesses, but it starts with your mind and your belief and that you can do something about it. There are some lifestyle changes and choices that you can start, little changes that you can start making today that would immediately start to help reverse the effects of many of those diseases that I just mentioned. So I need you to, one, know that you can win in your health. This thing is winnable. And I need you to get out of the health pipeline. There is a health pipeline. Just like is a school to prison pipeline, there is a health pipeline from the clinic or the doctor's office to an early grade. You don't have to be a part of that process. You don't have to be caught up in that system. So I just need you to do those three things that I asked you guys to do. So that is my plug for your heart health. And I want to make sure that you all show your heart some love. Now, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our lovely guest. Give me one moment as I pull that up so that I can share with you a little bit about my love guide. Give me one moment. Okay, okay. One moment. Okay, so today our guest is Ms. Paula Rivera, and the title of her show and as well as her site is Conversations with Paula. Conversations with Paula is dedicated to every woman who's had to start over. It is Paula Rivera's labor of love born out of her personal struggles and triumphs. Her desire is to offer you encouragement in a spirit of compassionate understanding and to share proven practical and applicable steps for persistently moving forward towards the abundant life that you desire. Her site is www.conversationswithpaula.com, and the link is also on my website. And for those of you who are following me online or listening to this on Facebook Live, it is directly on the page as well. So I want you to join me in welcoming Miss Paula. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm fantastic, bathing in all your love. This is just great. Thanks.
All right. So, we have some questions for you, Miss Paula. And our first is is love, is it something that's attainable, or is it only for certain people that are just born the right way or just lucky, or is this something realistic for the average person?
Well, love is something that's available to all. One of the things is that we have been programmed to believe that love has to be hard and it's difficult and you have to work really hard to get it and it's filled with heartaches. And I'm here to tell you that it does not have to be that way.
Oh,
Absolutely not. So I hope that by the end, your listeners and viewers will at least come out with a few tools that they can implement today to begin to rev up their love life.
all right. I like that. I like that answer. I like also knowing that it's available to me and everyone across this world. So thank you for that. Okay, that takes me into my next question for you then. There are many of us who have life experience and we have had, ups and downs. Some of us have gone through breakups, some of us are single parents, some of us are divorcees. So is there like a time period after like a breakup or going through a major life shift that someone should wait
Yes,
before starting to date?
yes, absolutely. Now, before I answer that question, I want to share that much of my advice and what I have to share may
Mm-hmm.
be a little shocking because it's counterculture. We are in a society in which we're told just, you know, we're in a microwave society and we sometimes jump from one relationship to another. And you have to give yourself time to heal. That is key. If you have had a breakup, it takes on average 1 year of healing for every
Mm-hmm.
5 years of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, it meant 5 years before I was ready to venture out into the dating world. And
Mm-hmm.
altogether, I was single and celibate for 8.5 years before I found the love of my life. Yes, you heard it right. Single and celibate for nearly 9 years. But
Wow.
during that time, I did the work. I did the work of healing, of getting my family, my children back on track. I had been married for a very, very long time. And in my first marriage, I had a lovely castle, but my castle was not built on a solid foundation. And that's something else that I want to help the listeners to gain tools so that they can have a solid foundation, not just for
Mm-hmm.
their love life, but for their everyday life, because it all starts with you. Once the foundation is solid in you, then you can move on and forward to build the loving, long lasting, committed relationship that you want. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, that was one that would end up in marriage.
I agree. I agree. I like that answer. And I like the candor in your response as well. And that's one of the reasons why I was very, very happy that you agreed to come on the show and share with our listeners and our followers on our page. So I think this is such an important conversation. I think that people maybe underestimate the effect and the power of love. Love definitely has an effect on not only your life, your lifestyle, but also on the human body. It
Yes.
physiologically changes you. There's a physiological response that your body has to relating with other people, and specifically in a romantic setting. So my next question for you is, then how do you know like you're ready after, like to start dating again?
Yeah, so the short answer to that question is when your feet are on solid ground and your head is screwed on right. Um, this is achieved through a practical pre-dating two-step process. The first step is to raise your spirits. And the second one is to have a clearly defined go, no go list. So, what do I mean by those two things? Like you said before, it is nearly guaranteed that during and after a breakup, your self esteem feels a little wobbly or maybe a lot.
Mhm.
During the healing process, we want to focus on healing from the inside out by reclaiming your sense of self, your power, so you stop feeling off balance or coming off as needy and insecure and having that craving, let's say, to jump right away into another relationship. That is the worst thing you can do.
I
So,
agree.
yes, thank you. um, yes. And then the next thing is once you're feeling grounded, and I have some tools that I want to share with you later if we have time to how to help yourself get grounded after a breakup. If not, maybe we'll do it on another session. Um, but anyway, the next one is to have a clearly defined no go, no go list. So it is a must, and this is a key point that you are clear on what you don't want as well as what you do want in your next relationship. What are the characteristics that you're looking that you want your mate to have? Having a clear mental picture of the qualities you want and don't want in your future partner and in yourself is it's a must. So give this thought and don't rush through the process. I encourage you to visualize the man, or for the man, the woman, and
Ah, I
their
like that.
characteristics.
Mhm.
Imagine interacting with them. Visualize how you feel about yourself in their presence. Doing
Mhm.
this may feel a little silly at first, but it will give
Mhm.
you a good gauge of where you are and where you want to be. For me, I'm going to share, actually a couple of days ago, I was going over my diary and I
Mhm.
found my go no go list, which I wrote several years ago, and I'm going to share a couple of the items that I had on my list. It was,
Mhm.
I wanted a husband that's going to be a protector, that will cherish my company, that has a sense of humor, and that is a responsible family man and loyal. And my three no goes were, I will never be with a man that is careless. I will never be with a man that is financially irresponsible. And I will never be with a man that is super critical. And um, as I said before, I really urge you to have a clear picture of what you want as well as what you don't want before the hormones kick in, before you begin the dating process. That way you're not wasting time.
That was an eye opener, even for me. So, what caused you to get to the point to make? When did you know that you needed to make a no go list?
After my divorce, yes,
Gotcha.
definitely. Yes. Once we began to dig ourselves out of the pit, and when I say we, I mean me and my children, and once I felt that I was in a good place and ready to look for love again, I certainly didn't want to make the mistakes that I made in the past. And it's not just about the other person only. You also need to take time to courageously look in the mirror, because oftentimes
Mhm.
the people that come into our lives, I would say not always, but often, the people that come into our lives are a reflection of ourselves, of where we are, the parts that we know about ourselves and the parts that we don't know.
Okay, I like that. I like that answer. That is very true.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You got my mind just going now.
So
I'm so into
what
it. So juicy.
something that just came to mind right now is to remember that a mistake is when we miss the stake. So stay true to your list. Even if you're feeling lonely, that's normal. All those feelings are normal. We have this idea in society that each one of us is a self-contained unit of everything. And that's not true. We were created to relate. We were created for companionship, fellowship. And no one person can fulfill all of those needs in our lives. But stay true to your list, stay strong, and you too will find the love that you deserve.
Wow, I like that. That is just it actually encourages me even on my journey um, to know that that's possible, and and having some clear, direct steps and things that you can do to ensure that you are in the best place and can add the right value as well to someone else or your intended before you even start the dating process. I like that, and I think that's going to be helpful to so many women, but not only women, but men as well, who are, healing after divorce. I like that. That's, it's universal in that sense, these steps that you can take. Okay, well, that takes me into my next question, which is, do you think, like, is love, worth the effort? I've seen this come up online in forums and questions of some people. There seems to be two rules of thought or schools of thought, where some just feel like, why bother? Like, is love even worth the effort? From a health perspective, I'm definitely going to say yes, but even, beyond just the physical health perspective, do you think that it's worth the effort for people?
Without a doubt. But you want to make sure that you and your partner are equally yoked. And
Okay.
when you're equally yoked, and I think oftentimes that's just thought about religious beliefs, but to me, that's not necessarily so. It's about having similar values, about
Hmm.
wanting the same things, a
Yeah.
future that you want to build together. All those things are very important. And I'm going to share something that will, I think, answer even better than I can.
Hmm.
So, this is the text that I got from my husband today. Good morning, princess. Even though Valentine's Day is coming soon, I want you to know that I love you every day of the year. I don't need a specific day to show my love to you. And then he put all these kissy hearts. I mean, that just makes my day.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
just actually put a smile on my face hearing that
yeah,
you
yeah,
received a message like that.
yeah.
That's a
We are
beautiful
definitely partners in life. That didn't happen for me overnight. It took a lot of work, a lot of healing. There were a lot of scars that needed to open wounds that needed to heal, and things that I needed to clarify, to define and refine about myself and about what I wanted to. But so the short answer is it's definitely worth it because we were created for companionship. There are very few individuals who are okay being hermits and living an isolated life.
That's true. I believe that. And I think like it's just so courageous as well. Like I just know even for me being a mom, sometimes I notice that single moms and divorcees who have children, I've often heard them being rather timid to even try again out of fear for their children or how to actually balance or make that work you know, starting over with someone new while also being a parent. Um, was that like an issue at any time for you, or you just that was just a part of that healing process for you before you started?
Both. I wanted to make sure that when the time came to introduce a significant other, that that the ground was solid for everyone. And there are logistical issues when you're a single parent and you have minor children, but those are things that you can work out. You can go on a short coffee date while your children are on a play date if they're small. There are
Mm-hmm.
many things that you can get creative about in order to, with your girlfriends, you can take turns watching each other's children. There's a lot of things that you can get creative and
Right.
do to figure out how to manage all those logistical aspects. But since Valentine's Day is approaching, if we have time, I want to go over 3 things that everyone can do today, right now. Well, not right now if you're driving, but as soon as you get off the computer or the phone, that you can do to raise your vibration, to raise your spirits, to help
Mm-hmm.
you feel grounded and connected to yourself. And it, to be your own Valentines, to be your very own, very best Valentines, and create loving habits that will help you stay physically and emotionally healthy. And so, those 3 items that I want to share are, the first one is get quiet. Get quiet, preferably before the day gets busy. Close your eyes, take a deep breath,
Mm-hmm.
exhale slowly, and let your inner wisdom speak to you and tell you what you need today. It could be something as simple as filing your nails while you're sitting at your desk for a little break, or going for a walk by yourself, leaving your cell phone behind.
Yes.
Um, at the end of the day or early in the morning. Or it could be something more elaborate, like signing up for a motorcycle riding course. The
Uh-huh. I
point
like that.
of this is to mindful carving of time for yourself.
Yes.
Because when your soul is quiet, it will tell you what you need. And as you learn to take care of yourself, or relearn to take care of yourself after a breakup, you will attract people into your life who value and appreciate you. And there will be people who also value and appreciate themselves, and therefore they want to mingle with people who are vibrating at the same level. Um, Another tool is to recall a time when you felt joy filled. When I do this exercise, I bring
Mm-hmm.
up the love and joy I felt when my babies were being born. Now, whatever it is that you're thinking about that fills you with love, keep that feeling and find something physical about yourself. This is for men too, but especially for women, because we tend to struggle with our appearance more than men.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
find something physical about yourself that you like, a part of you that doesn't feel inadequate or threatening. For me, it's a little mole that I have in my right eye. And you keep that feeling and let that love bathe that part of yourself. Now, even if you feel silly doing it, as you practice this love tool every day, eventually you're just going to start to feel good and giddy, which brings us to number 3. When you're having those loving, good, giddy feelings, share them with someone else. Now, not your love interest if you're a woman. And at another time, we can go into more detail as to why I'm saying this.
Oh
But
yeah, we definitely get you back on.
call your aunt and tell her, remind her of a time that the two of you, when you were little, did something memorable, something that felt good to you. She's going to feel great. Or
Mhm.
bake your child's favorite cookie, or with a smile, say thank you to your mailman for delivering the mail. The point of this last exercise is that when we are in the pits, it's difficult to feel grateful. It's just we tend to be just, what's the word? Perseverating on the sadness, perseverating on the loss. But being
Mhm.
grateful
Mhm.
helps us to take ourselves out of our head. And at the same time, you're going to make someone's day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are my three be your own Valentine tools. Get quiet, fill
Mhm.
yourself with
Mhm.
love, and be grateful and share that love.
Ah, I cannot wait to repost this. I know this conversation is going to really help a lot of people. Yeah, be your own Valentine. I can do that. That gives me something to do while I'm in Houston for Valentine's Day. So I really appreciate that. Okay, well, I think you've kind of already started to answer that question for our final question we had for you, which was how did you finally obtain love for yourself? Um, if there's anything along those lines that you feel like will be important to share, you could certainly do that, at this time, or if there's any other, information you'd like to share, the floor is open.
Well, yes, I do plan to, in my channel, the plan is every week I am going to post a love letter in which I share tools, practical tools that are simple, easy to implement, that will help you first to climb out of the pit,
Yeah,
stabilize your life, and then build the life that you desire.
I like that. I like that very, very much. Yay, thank you. This was really, really great. So now I definitely want to bring in just some little tips that before we close out, that how the body is affected by love. I think Mrs. Paula Rivera has really truly helped lay out for us how it's attainable, some practical things that we can start to implement today, and especially Valentine's Day, when we know that there are lots of people and even young people specifically who this can be a very depressing time of the year for them if they don't necessarily have a Valentine or are not aware of that they can be their own Valentine, or maybe their family doesn't do something together as a family in promoting just like a love kind of theme for the day. So there's a hormonal response that your body has when you're having feelings of love. And it's not just romantic love, it's love between parent and child, love between siblings, love between parents, friends, just the feelings of love. Here's what happens to our body: you get a release of dopamine, you get a release of endorphins. And those of you who've heard my voicemail, I close out with endorphins are great. And so are you. This life means nothing without you. I say that because endorphins are the feel good hormone. It's a very, very important thing. Here's the thing. Um, the hormones that are released when you're in a depressed state or you're anxious, when endorphins are increased, it's impossible to have the two coexist at the same time. That's what I love, and I think it's so great with endorphins. And when you walk, when you do any form of exercise, your body, you get a release. It stimulates the release of endorphins. Endorphins are also released in lovemaking. So there are many ways that we can get that boost of endorphins, but we also get them when we're in love, when we interact, and when we are actually consciously aware that we love this person. Like, I love my daughter, or I love my brother, or my sister, or my friend. Your body releases hormones in response to that. But here's the most important one. And for those of you, if you want to hear more about the release of this one, serotonin. Remember, I talked about how it aids in weight loss and your gut bacteria and all these important processes. So not only can you get this during sleep, but love can give you that release. And serotonin is super essential for so many things that we need, especially for our blood vessels, but definitely with our metabolism. Serotonin has a very important role, but it's also lumped into one of those feel-good hormones as well. So serotonin is like a gift that just keeps on giving. So if you'd like to hear a little more about like the effects of serotonin on the body, I think that was episode 2 or 3 where I talked about how I dropped 15 pounds in a week. I really go into a lot more detail about serotonin, but I definitely wanted you to know that there is an effect, and a lot of people are not aware that, you know, there's a reason that chocolate, and specifically dark chocolate, people don't understand the connection with the like love. Well, when something is 70% cacao, it has a positive effect. And if you want to look up more evidence on it, Dr. Oz, if you check out Dr. Oz's Heart Healthy grocery list, he actually, there's an entire write-up, and I have a link on my site, www.missw, a direct link to that, where he talks about the effects of dark chocolate and how good it is for your heart. And do you notice how we actually, that's a big thing, a part of us showing love and that whole Valentine's Day, how we tie that in. You know, we think about heart and we think about chocolate, and that there's a reason there. It actually is physically good for your heart. And again, I said dark chocolate, not talking about all these derivatives that some of us have gotten clever and gotten into. We're talking about 70% cacao. It's really, really good. 70% or more dark chocolate. It's good for the heart. So this Valentine's Day, I hope that you guys will indulge in some dark chocolate or share it with your loved ones. Again, helps aid in giving you that release and those wonderful hormones that we love and does our body good. Now, I wanted to also share just some simple ways or reasons why you should show your heart some love by just simply walking. A lot of people are not aware that walking in and of itself can decrease early death by 30%, 32% specifically. 32%. It has been proven to help you recover from flu symptoms and actually help some people decrease the amount of times that they can get sick in a year. It has also decreased by 31% cardiac events. It also lubricates your joints. Like a lot of people who are suffering from arthritis, they think that walking will like aggravate it, and it actually does the opposite. Walking is just like one of the best free things that we could do for our heart. It literally helps to clean out the plaque from our arteries. It literally gives our heart a bath. So it helps to improve our mood, reduces anxiety, depressive symptoms. So love and health go hand in hand. You need love. You need to make sure that you show your heart some love. So that is it for my little health tips. This is Miss Wells and Abundant Health Services, the 1Hunnid Health Show. Love and Health episode. We want to thank Miss Paula Rivera for being our special guest today. Please check out her site, which is conversationswithpaula.com. I will also have a link on my site and all our social media. We will continue to share her information, and I hope that we can get her back on again this year. I'm sure so many of you. Please leave comments. I want you to subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. And give her a like, give her some feedback, and share the replay of this. It's on Facebook Live, as well as this will be on the site, the recording. So feel free to share it with your loved ones. Do you have any closing remarks for us, Mrs. Riveros?
Well, I would like to encourage everyone to be their very best Valentine, share the love, and be the hero of your own story.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you, and happy Valentine's to you all. Have a great day, and keep it 100 in your health. Peace. Thank you, Paula.